War Thunder has every kind of weapon you can imagine. Today we're looking at the strange, funny, and sometimes downright harmless tools you can find on aircraft. Most of them barely impact effectiveness and definitely aren't main armaments, but they were still worth adding to the game. Let's start with forward-firing machine guns on bombers. In general, that's not rare across nations, but the British clearly stand out. The Blenheim has a single small-caliber machine gun mounted in the middle of the wing, about 4 meters off the center line. Why? Because the fuselage probably had no room left. Needless to say, aiming that thing feels very awkward. At least the battle rating is low, so the opponents aren't too scary. The British have another notable bomber, the Sunderland. It's the only 4-engine flying boat in the game with forward-firing armament. It carries 4 machine guns in the nose, which is actually decent firepower for its BR. Just don't tell anyone you're using a giant flying boat as a fighter. From weird forward guns, let's move to odd defensive turrets with almost no traverse. On the German HE-111H6, one machine gun is installed right in the tail. You can see it better in X-ray. It has almost no firing angles, but it's not useless. It covers blind spots left by the main turrets, and even if it doesn't shoot anyone down, it can at least scare people off. A similar turret exists on the Soviet PE-3. Here, it boosts the main turret's firepower and slightly extends the firing sector downward. The most bizarre defensive guns belong to the HE-115C1. If you attack it from the rear, don't be surprised when the engines start shooting back. Yep, the engineers mounted remotely controlled machine guns in the engine nacelles, because they could. The last entry in this tiny angle turrets category is the Italian SM-92. It uses a heavy machine gun, so the firepower is very impressive. But the firing arcs are so narrow that actually downing someone still counts as a major achievement. There are plenty of funny examples among suspended ordnance too. The British Shackleton can carry up to 8 RP-3 rockets on the wings, next to the engines, on a 4-engine aircraft. Thanks for not putting them on the wingtips. Of course, nobody planned to snipe tanks with them in real life. It's an anti-submarine aircraft. But we all know War Thunder has people who will learn the ballistics and start hitting ground targets anyway. If you pull it off, Thunder Show is open 24/7. You know what to do. You can also give yourself a challenge with certain variants of the German HE-51 and the Hungarian WM-21. They carry 10-kilogram bombs, the weakest in the game, with only 750 grams in TNT equivalent. Sure, their BR is low and enemy tank armor is often more of a suggestion than a fact, but you'll still need to drop them almost in the enemy's pockets. Germany also has the weakest unguided rockets in the game, the RZ-65 on the Bf-109F2. Each one contains only 156 grams in TNT equivalent, so the best targets, just like in real life, are large bombers. You can shoot at ground vehicles too, but don't expect many points for scratching paint. And finally, the strangest munition of all belongs to the American A-1H, a ceramic-coated bomb packed with a full 1 kilogram of TNT, shaped to slow its fall like an attack bomb. If you manage to hit someone with it, nothing will flush that shame down. Tell us in the comments whether you've ever used any of these odd weapons effectively, and see you soon!